decentralized autonomous organizations and are creating a secure platform for money and messages that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. We'll, again, get back into the article from Engadget in just a moment. But first, to the phones, actually to Skype, where I believe we have David calling in. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Appreciate it. Good evening. Looks like the stream is up. That's what I was calling about, to let you know the stream was down. So that's all I had.
All right. Thank you very much, David. Let's go to Robert calling in from Bellows Falls. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you for taking my call. A couple of days ago, the guy out of California had called in and talked about the secession. It was in the USA Today paper, I guess.
So for anybody that wasn't listening a couple of nights ago to hear what the guy from California said, can you recap very quickly?
Well, I don't have that up in front of me, but what I do want to tell you is that I found another town in the state of Vermont that has seceded.
A town in Vermont that seceded. Okay. Which town is this, and what did they secede from?
It's in the Winooski. It says former town of Ridgeford, Vermont, names itself South Canada.
Catchy name. I like it.
The town of Ridgeford, Vermont has renamed itself South Canada after declaring its secession from the state and the country earlier this month, meaning last August of last year.
So they decided to become Canadians?
Town officials claim that they will no longer accept any incoming mail addressed to Ridgeford, and that all official documentations must refer to the town as the nation of South Canada.
I like it.
Okay, and then...
was there a public vote on this, or was it just a couple of town officials that were like, we want to be South Canada?
Oh, no, there was a vote.
What?
No, there was a vote.
How many people are in this town?
I think when I read the article, well, when I pulled it up on Wikipedia, it said that there was like 3,000 people in the town.
That's considerable.
The town is it's less than 50 acres. It's not a really very big town.
Are they all like Amish or something?
I don't know. But
they're South Canadian.
They're South Canadian. I'm sorry. I've never met a South Canadian before, so.
But it's a fascinating story. There's another part of it too. I think it's this story came out on August 18th, but I think there was another one on August 9th that talks a little bit more in detail about it.
Well, if you're going to the Winooski.com for your story, that is a satire. Actually, it goes the Winooski, locally sourced organic Vermont satire.
That would explain why I was not able to find anything in a news search for that. Robert, thank you for the call.
But I do want to read this article on this website about the state creating a Department of Frozen Vehicles.
Frozen vehicles.
Frozen vehicles,
Frozen vehicles?
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, we were talking about the Senate, the Senate's action. We never even really got that far. As far as we got was discussing the NSA's.
Oh, right. Last week, the House voted to extend Section 702, and that's about as far as we got.
Yeah, but today the Senate has also voted in favor of renewing the law for another 6 years. Section 702 is contentious, largely because it's so wide-reaching and doesn't require government agencies to get a warrant before conducting surveillance or searching through already collected communications. Groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation and the ACLU have spoke out about the law, and many have called for more oversight as well as protections for U.S. citizens whose communication might fall under the law's scope. Last year, groups of senators, both Republican and Democrat, attempted to introduce reforms to Section 702 And Senator Rand Paul said at the time, quote, "The American people deserve better from their own government than to have their internet activity swept up in warrantless, unlimited searches that ignore the Fourth Amendment," unquote. The bill renewing Section 702 will now head to the president, who is expected to sign it into law by the end of the week. So basically, if you were counting on your representatives sent to Washington by you, this is what's happened. I didn't
vote for them.
No, but somebody did, and this is, a lot of people like the idea of representative government. But what happens when it doesn't work for you, when it goes contrary to the Constitution, which I believe 702 is? I believe the idea of a warrantless search in itself is repugnant to the Fourth Amendment. It's just contrary.
And again, a lot of this, for people just tuning in, a lot of the stuff that's collected under some of these programs that the NSA and other spy agencies say are authorized by Section 702, they claim that, it's only to get communication of non-citizens. But if a U.S. citizen is communicating with a non-citizen that might for some reason be a target, and it could just be that they have a very similar name to someone who is a target, then Section 702, or the programs supposedly authorized by 702, are used to not only catch the communication of the American communicating with that non-American, but also other Americans communicating with the American that communicated with the non-American that may or may not actually be a target, again, because names could just be similar.
Well,
I have a question.
And forget it. I'm sorry. One real quick point, though. You're talking about something where there's a name. That's not the point of 702. 702 is about not having a name and just saying we want to go do this. So they don't name names on a 702 search. They just say these people from over there. That's the point, and that's what's repugnant.
Your calls and
okay.
thoughts,
When we
welcome.
come back.
855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's post pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
If you're looking for work, or even if you're not, here's an innocent mistake you really want to avoid. Never return calls before listening to your voicemail. Your wireless phone sends calls you didn't answer into voicemail, and it shows you phone numbers for calls you missed. Important. Don't call back callers you missed until you have first listened to your messages. Otherwise, you frustrate people who bothered to leave messages by asking them to repeat a message they just left as your voicemail greeting instructed them to. If you're a job applicant, this alone could be a deal killer. And even if you're not, there are few things you can convey to someone that are as fundamentally maddening as, "I didn't hear you." With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we're talking about the reauthorization of Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act and all of the absolutely horrible things that Section 702 supposedly authorizes the NSA to do. And I agree with Chris that some of what they do actually isn't authorized by that, but they say it is, and the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court winds up rubber stamping all of the warrants, well, with the exception of 11 of the nearly 34,000 warrant requests to the FISA court. 11 were rejected. Now, we don't necessarily know, and I did try doing some digging to find out why those were rejected. Wasn't able to do that, so I don't know if the rubber stamp malfunctioned to say accepted, or if there were actually reasons given by the court for why they rejected those. But since it's a
top secret
court,
you're not going to find that. There's no accountability.
Right.
Let me rephrase that. There's no direct accountability to the American people.
Correct.
Congress, and I'm not sure who might oversee that, what committees or what subcommittees, probably have some review process that they, bring in a representative of the FISA court and get to grill them behind closed doors where nobody, none of us,
your rubber stamp still working? All right, good.
Little people can see those,
have a good day.
Those events. You had a question before the break, and I rudely interrupted.
Yeah, so my question was, thinking about this bill that passed both the House and the Senate, what percentage of them were Democrats and Republicans, or was it fairly, like, was one party more supportive, or?
So, in the nays, so the Senate vote today was 65 yes, 34 no. In the opposition, it was about 20 couple Democrats, and, say 12 or 13 Republicans plus one independent, and that would have been Bernie Sanders. That's a ballpark, just kind of skimming the list here real quick of those who opposed it. in terms of who supported it, it was pretty much, split along the same lines. Republicans and Democrats both voted to pass this thing. I just wanted to see where Rand.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find the vote in the House.
Yeah, how did Rand vote on that?
But
Against
U.S. House website has been modified, so finding things, it's not exactly as easy as it used to be. So I don't know if that's intentional, that they don't want people easily finding those roll calls, or what exactly is going on with that.
Yeah, and again, I'm looking for names that I recognize. Of course, Ron Wyden of Oregon opposed it. Rand Paul opposed it. Bernie Sanders opposed it.
Wow.
Mike Lee of Utah opposed it. Leahy of Democrat of Vermont also opposed it.
Dick Durbin opposed.
Yep.
Gillibrand out of New York voted against, which that is kind of surprising because she seems to be one of those, go along with whatever grows the government sort of thing.
Yep. Also, Cory Booker out of Connecticut. No, out of New Jersey. I'm sorry. So
while we try to find the House vote, let's go to the phone where we've got Dave calling in from Dutchess County. I believe that's in Delaware. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Doing well. You're on the radio. Go ahead.
I have a problem with cam girls. Now, you guys know what a cam girl is, right?
I'm familiar with the idea, the term.
Like cam girls, sex workers, people who, like these girls, they, make money from, doing camming, going on ChatterBait or LiveCam.
Okay, so what's your problem with them?
What's the problem? You don't have to give us all the websites that you go to see the cam girls.
Right.
You said you've got a problem. So what's the problem?
It's clear what his problem is.
There are a few girls who I follow on Twitter, Sharon Zerk, Crystal Rivers.
You don't need to tell us who you follow on Twitter. You don't need to tell us what website you go to. You said you've got a problem. What's the problem?
What's the problem?
Somebody, I've been unemployed for 4 long years, and I follow these girls, and they, they always say, "Oh, well, we got to make our money. We got to make our money. We can't just give ourselves out for free. We got to make our money." Blah blah blah. Why can't these cam girls do stuff for free? Why?
Because they're free to do whatever they want. You're free to do whatever you want. And if they don't want to do things for free, they don't have to do things for free.
Yeah,
what do you expect them to do?
There's a few of them who I like I just mentioned. There's one.
Yeah, you don't need to tell us
people's
who
names.
they are.
That we don't need to hear people's fake names because that's what they are. So anyway, they're providing a service. In this, oh God, some guys just get to this point where they believe that the girl they see on the screen and chat with or things like that, they have some emotional connection with, and why can't we just take it to this next level? And on the other end of that is somebody practicing capitalism. They are working, they are putting their time and effort, making investments in equipment and outfits and all sorts of things to make more money. So I don't fault anybody for keeping business separate from their personal lives.
I mean, it sounds like this guy's clearly got a problem, maybe a habit that he's...
You say it like it's a bad thing.
I think, there's been studies that say people can become addicted to pornography and stuff like that, and that it releases the same dopamine, hits in the brain that heroin does when a heroin does drugs. So
how about when people exercise?
These guys that are addicted to pornography, kind of have...
Dave, are you addicted to porn?
The what?
Are you addicted to porn?
Or your cam
I'm not
girls?
really addicted to porn. It's just that, these girls,
You want them to be your slaves by doing free work. Thank you for the call.
No. Okay, so along those lines, dopamine's released when guys, after a certain point, watch porn all the time and things like that. How about people that exercise a lot? Do they not get that same rush of dopamine?
Ooh,
is that not a common thing? You know what I'm talking about? Runner's high?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
Runner's
about.
high?
Yeah,
Should we?
There's healthy habits and there's bad habits.
Hold on. So what makes... do you determine which are healthy and which are bad?
On your life, yeah.
Well,
no, I think that there's certain, I do. I'm personally against any type of like exploitation of like humans and stuff.
But can we flip that around though and say what if...
I'm more of like a,
Do you think people are doing this against their will? They're being forced to?
I do think there's a lot of people that are forced into that. And then there's
do you think all of them are?
I think a large majority of them don't do it. Nobody's like, oh, I want to grow up and be a porn star.
Some people do.
Yeah, well...
That's what we get for having more...
there are different breeds of human, and I feel like I'm on the
there's
another
one
level.
breed of human.
Speaking of different breeds, let's go to Skype where we've got Ricky calling in. Ricky, go ahead with your
hits
thoughts.
Just keep on coming.
What?
Hey, you're damn straight there, Brother Darryl. Thank you so much, Brother Chris. Sister Heather, it's so good to hear your voice. I was worried there, young lady. We lost you.
Isn't it great to have her back?
You can't keep me away.
Go ahead with your thoughts, Ricky.
Sounds like Ricky from the Commonwealth. You can't keep me away either. Well, you know what? That last caller just reminded me of something. Brother Darryl, I remember a couple years back, it was yourself and Brother Ian, and there was a lot of crazy callers, and the topic was prostitution. This is right on topic for our last caller. I remember we talked about it, Brother Darryl.
We probably did, and... I don't think that prostitution should be illegal. That's a topic that we can discuss at another time. Ricky, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts, welcome. 855
That's just in Amsterdam. That would have been an interesting topic.
Right.
That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on, well, pretty much anything? This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas.
No.
Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenics commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenics.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text the word PRIME44 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And you're going to like the difference, too.
Text PRIME44 to 42424 for a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores. Text PRIME44 to 42424.
Free Talk Live.
Sometimes you have to do things in emergencies that you don't do in normal times.
Like lock up Japanese Americans?
Look, you don't believe in the internment of the Japanese Americans?
The hell I don't. I don't believe in locking somebody up for not doing anything wrong.
Let me tell you something. There were Japanese Americans who assisted Japanese soldiers in the Hawaiian Islands at that time.
So grab all the families and throw them in a concentration camp. That's a great solution, Lou. That's something that should happen in the land of the free, right?
See, I don't even like you using the term concentration camp.
That's what they were, Lou.
Because they were not death camps. They were.
It doesn't matter if there weren't gas chambers on the premises.
They were not death camps. You see, you're using euphemism.
I call them a concentration camp. You're concentrating people all in one location, Lou.
I don't, you're giving it an implication that it does not have.
I think you should go to the Japanese Americans and ask them, Lou.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Tether.
And Chris.
And do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? If so, consider joining Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it's easy, it can be private, the fees are low, and transactions are fast or can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash, so go right now to dash.org and find out why. So we've been discussing the reauthorization of Section 702 to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. We went over some of the votes in the Senate for who voted against. Surprisingly, John McCain was not voting. He was the one senator that did not vote on reauthorization. Looking at the House roll call from 1 week ago, it wound up passing 191 Republicans in favor, 45 against, 3 not voting. 65 Democrats in favor, 119 against, 9 not voting. Probably the most interesting vote. Not Nancy Pelosi voting for. That doesn't surprise me. What surprises me, Jim Sensenbrenner voting against reauthorization.
Yeah, I get it. And we talked about this during the break a little bit, just because for the life of me, I couldn't remember why Darryl's looking at me going, Jim Sensenbrenner. But he was who? What did he do?
He's the guy that allegedly wrote the USA Patriot Act. He's definitely the representative that introduced the legislation.
Right.
And he has since come out against the legislation, saying, had I known everything that would wind up happening, in the name of the various provisions within this legislation, I never would have introduced this bill.
Right. And I think we've all been guilty of making decisions in our life that had unintended consequences. I don't know how you could have read that thing or written that thing or signed on to be the one who introduced it, and that goes into a separate subject, but and not expected what happened to have happened. I personally have never believed that thing got cranked out. Do you remember what day ballpark that was introduced? It wasn't long after 9/11.
I can pull that up very quickly.
Yeah.
Because I remember that the entire thing wound up going through the House and the Senate within a couple of days.
It was really, really fast. And if I recall, it was thousands of pages in length. And for the life of me, I was trying to figure out, okay, how did you possibly create this entire infrastructure in like a week or so? Go ahead.
Introduced as H.R. 3162 on October 23rd, 2001.
So basically
had committee hearings by the U.S. House Committee on the Judiciary, the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the Committee on Financial Services, the Committee on International Relations, the Committee on Energy and Commerce, subcommittees on telecommunications and the Internet, Committee on Education and the Workforce, Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, Committee on Armed Services. It then passed the House on October 24th of 2001.
So yeah,
I didn't count how many committees I just read off there, but that's a lot of committees. And they apparently had all of these hearings in less than a day. Passed the House 357 to 66. It then, on October 25th, passed the U.S. Senate 98 to 1, and then it was signed by President George W. Bush on October 26th, 2001. The only no vote was Senator Feingold. The only senator not voting was Mary Landrieu.
Okay, so this thing modified, it created 9 new titles in the U.S. Code. And
yes.
The title is a pretty big thing. It amended U.S. Code in, I'm not even going to guess on counting, maybe 200 different sections of U.S. Code. That is a ton. It amended the Electronic Communications Privacy Act, computer fraud and abuse, bank secrecy, money laundering, rights of financial privacy.
It also created the Department of Homeland Security and merged a bunch of federal agencies together. It federalized the airport security.
Yeah, and it did all this in basically 40 days.
Yeah, just in case you guys didn't know, Pistachio set off the TSA little computer there. Yeah.
Were you
Senator
found?
Pistachio?
I had my bag searched on the way there and on the way back.
Really?
'Cause I didn't check any bags. I only brought a carry-on. I brought a backpack and a carry-on. So both, and actually the airport I flew back from was in Amsterdam, and that airport security is so much worse than the United States.
Now
How
that's
so?
saying something. Go
Meaning,
ahead.
like, I went through like 50 million more checkpoints with my like passport and stuff like that. Like getting through the security, like I must have shown my passport and my boarding pass to at least 6 people before I actually got on the plane.
Papers, please.
Like, and
How about did you get the old
all of
the whole date without the dinner first?
I got patted down. They have the same stand in the box. The thing spins around you or whatever.
Shoot you full of radiation.
Yep. My bag got searched in Amsterdam, and then after you go through there, you like just to get to where I was though, I literally had to go through like 6 different people. Like they stamp you, they ask you all these like, has anybody given you anything? Do you have any food? Do you have any, like, I don't know.
That guy on the street corner offered me some mushrooms.
I made
does that count?
I'm in Amsterdam.
I made a really bad
People have been
joke.
offering me stuff all the time. Yeah.
So after like the very last person that like checked my pass and passport right before getting on the plane, it was like right there at the gate. And I made like a bad joke. I don't know if he got it, if it went over his head, but he asked me the same question as like one of the other guys. He's like, did anybody give you anything in the airport to like Do you know what I mean? Like a random question.
Right.
I'm like, no. And then he was like, all right, you're all set. And he hands me my passport back. And I was like, well, you just gave me my passport. And then he looks at me like I said something wrong. And I'm like, it was a joke.
You
Like,
can't make jokes. Jokes.
it's like,
This is a joke-free zone.
I was like, oh my God.
It's an
I'm
airport.
like, I'm just going to go get on my plane and go home. Like, sorry, buddy.
Exactly.
Let's
Have
go.
a lot of fun, bud.
Let's go to Skype where we've got Jamil calling in. Jamil, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah. Hey, Darryl and Chris and Heather. I just wanted to call in. Got just a real quick question for you. In light of Trump's comments about immigration, where he referred to those countries, and you heard the next day, and they heard the next day on CNN, they were all talking about it. They must have said that about like 100 times. And I even heard them say it on NPR. So I got a question, like, can you say
No,
that
you
word?
cannot say that word on broadcast radio.
NPR did it. I guess they might be able to take the fine, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't want to test the waters here. Thank you for the call.
Yeah.
And the word starts with S, and the second part of the word is whole.
Yeah. My favorite meme was it showed a picture of Trump and Putin talking, and Trump says to Putin, I'll bet you I can get CNN to say blank 1,000 times this week.
Oh, no, they did. I saw it from my hotel room in one of the countries I was in. CNN was on the news, and literally it was kind of weird hearing like the news anchors say it. Like these women that were like probably diehard feminists were like, Donald Trump said, blah, blah, blah. Like, really? Like, they say it so seriously, and I'm like,
oh my God.
Like,
Yeah, it
personally,
reminds
when
me
I
of a
was-
very long joke where the punchline is
Did
the
he
guy tells
actually
the
say it, though?
bartender, I bet that guy $100 I could pee on you and make you laugh about it.
Right.
Did he actually say it though?
He denies having said it, but there are so many various
But none of us were in the room, so it was in a
Speculation.
closed meeting. So
your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, January 18th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.10 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,331 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,620. Antiwar.com reports following up on Tuesday's statement from Vancouver that the U.S. and allied nations want to ignore the North Korea diplomatic efforts with South Korea and pursue new sanctions. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson piled on with a threat of U.S. military action against North Korea. Tillerson's position does not make a lot of sense with all the factors considered, suggesting the U.S. goal is negotiations and that the U.S. would respond to North Korea's refusal to negotiate with military force against them. In reality, North Korea has repeatedly suggested negotiations in recent weeks and been rebuffed every single time by the United States. Tillerson is clearly aware of this, as every time he suggested talks, he too has been condemned by other Trump administration officials. The U.S. position, as stated now, boils down to pretending diplomacy is not ongoing and threatening to start a massive war with North Korea to punish them for the lack of diplomacy, even though important bilateral talks are in fact ongoing, and the only reason the U.S. is not involved is that the U.S. refuses to participate. This makes the position increasingly puzzling and nonsensical, as the U.S. keeps threatening war despite positive developments, presents diplomacy as an end goal while spurning every opportunity to engage in it, and accuses North Korea of trying to trick people by offering talks at all. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. UPI reports Walmart hopes to combat the U.S. opioid epidemic by offering a free disposal system to help consumers safely dispose of leftover medicines. The world's largest retailer announced the new disposal system known as Dispose RX on Wednesday, with plans to make it available to use for free at all of its 4,700 U.S. pharmacies. The Dispose RX system will give drug users a small packet containing ingredients they can mix into a pill bottle with warm water to safely dispose of leftover medications in the trash. In a release, Walmart referenced information from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration and the National Institute for Drug Abuse that shows more than 65% of people who misuse prescription opioids acquire them from family or friends. Existing company policy also provides optional counseling to customers who want advice on safe prescription opioid use. Walmart's announcement marks the first time one of the nation's largest pharmacies has offered a free way to dispose of opioids at all locations. CVS does have a similar program, but it is only in place in 750 locations in the United States. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a winter storm that caused at least 4 deaths in the U.S. South brought record low temperatures on Wednesday to parts of the region, where it coated roads with ice, snapped power lines, and prompted schools to close. Frigid temperatures and snow were also forecast for the mid-Atlantic region and much of New England through Thursday. The National Weather Service issued winter weather advisories and storm warnings for North Georgia into Virginia and from Massachusetts to Maine. In Austin, Texas, a vehicle plunged more than 30 feet off a frozen overpass late on Tuesday, killing a man in his 40s, according to Austin Travis County Emergency Medical Services. An 82-year-old woman who suffered from dementia was found dead on Wednesday behind her Houston area home, likely the victim of exposure to the cold, according to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. In Georgia, 2 people were fatally struck by a car that slid on an ice patch near Macon. The governors of Georgia, North Carolina, and Louisiana declared states of emergency because of severe winter weather conditions that caused multiple car accidents during rush hour. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Hollywood's biggest stars are rallying for a good cause this week with the Save Our Children campaign. Celebs like Jessica Simpson, Brad Pitt, and Gwyneth Paltrow headlined a charity event to help their suffering kids who desperately need a chance to live a normal life. Angelina Jolie talked to Starfix about the charity, saying, quote, "You don't have to be a mother to want to help my children, many of whom are not getting a proper education. If you look at the numbers, 1 in 5 of my children will struggle with drug problems." Joining us now is a representative from the charity, Julie Harrison. Julie, it was such a great cause.
Absolutely. We're talking about children who don't have any positive role models. They're born into a life they didn't ask for. And if the state's not going to step up and help these kids, it's time someone did something.
Here's a quote from Victoria Beckham, and I found this powerful. "It breaks my heart to think about these kids living somewhere in my house with no hope for a happy future. Who knows if they even have food to eat?" Julie, according to your group's website, a staggering number of STARS children are being exploited growing up without parents.
Right.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Kicking off hour number 2 in studio tonight. It's Darryl.
And Tether.
And Chris.
And you know what's coming up in just a couple of days, don't you, Chris? The 1-year anniversary of the inauguration of President Donald Trump.
Well, you could also say it's the anniversary of the inauguration of a lot of presidents, correct?
Right, but we don't need to review what has Barack Obama done since leaving the White House.
That movie's coming out. There's a movie called The Final Year, which is detailing Barack Obama's final year in office.
No, I did not know that.
I won't be watching it, but I just thought I'd throw that out there.
The reason I bring it up, the Washington Post has sort of a annual performance review, ... a couple days early, that we'll get into here in just a moment. But first to the phones where we've got Libertarian Banker calling in. Libertarian Banker, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call tonight. Just I was having a conversation in the Discord chat with another user about Tether, which is a cryptocurrency that's out there.
Yep.
And for those who don't know, Tether is they claim to be sort of backed by the U.S. dollar. That each token that they have out there is backed by a dollar that they hold in a vault somewhere.
Right.
And you know the guy I was talking with, we were talking about sort of having a clearing sort of currency for trading crypto. You know, if you want to go in and out of crypto, it's hard to cash back into U.S. dollars, but you had mentioned Tether was a good way to do it. But here's sort of some criticisms, I guess, that I have of it. If, you know, much like China sort of pegs their currency to the U.S. dollar, they have to control the supply of the currency in order to control the price. You can't just say, hey, this is the price of something. You literally have to either control the supply or the demand of something.
Right. Or
you're getting into the actual way economics works.
Yeah. I don't think most people care about that, but please continue with your thought.
The Bahamian dollar is pegged to the U.S. dollar. I don't think the Prime Minister of the Bahamas in any way tries to claim that they're controlling the value or supply of the U.S. dollar. They're just saying our dollar is equal to one of those because then it makes conversion easy for all of the tourists.
There are international currency markets, Darryl, that trade these currencies that set the prices of the currency. So the only way for China or anybody that pegs their currency to the U.S. dollar to control the price is to either create or destroy some of the token or the coin.
Right. Now, and what makes Tether suspicious is people have questioned whether this money is actually sitting in a bank account because their auditing hasn't revealed a lot.
Well, whether it is or not, like I liken it to the yuan, which pegs itself to the dollar. Now, whether they have the dollar actually in the vault or not doesn't matter. The fact is that they are manipulating the supply of the currency, whether they're creating or destroying it, to bring the demand and the supply in line to make the value of each token $1. That's the only way that they can control the price of this thing. And so my question is, how are they creating or destroying these tokens? I mean, I'm assuming the only way you can buy Tether is from the central organization that owns Tether, and when you either buy or sell it, it's then created or destroyed at that point.
Well,
But
you can buy it on exchanges. That's the thing, and I always find it interesting when I'm on a crypto exchange and I see that the price of Tether is $1.16.
Didn't Bitcoin?
Exactly. So
Yeah,
like I said, it's the supply that has to be manipulated in order to control the price. So the traders are going to trade it up or down, but the supply has to be either restricted or increased in order to control that price. And Tether is just sounds like a scam to me.
It does to a lot of people. So definitely in the crypto circles on Twitter, this is a reoccurring theme. I mean, whenever any scam pops up, and there have been a couple like BitConnect recently, and
there have also been a handful of cryptocurrencies that have claimed to be pegged to the U.S. dollar. And yet, definitely sounds very, very suspicious and fishy and scammy to me.
Yeah, I think this is going to be... Yeah, hey, no problem.
Yeah,
I think we're going to hear more about Tether because it's just... there's too many questions out there, and as I said, they've released some statements, and they've said, well, we got hit with, we got hacked for this number. That happened a couple weeks ago, and it just doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. But I understand the need. If you're selling one thing to go into another, it's hard to sell one thing that's being volatile and buying or getting out into something else that's volatile. It makes it very hard to track.
A lot of exchanges won't allow just unlimited pairing of crypto. So let's say that, Chris, you're on an exchange and you have Putin coin. And I only mention that because Will Coley from Call to Freedom had mentioned it towards the end of his show. And you want to convert some of your Putin coin to Dash.
Right.
Well, you can't do that on most exchanges, so you have to then go to something else.
Right.
And the least volatile thing is generally going to be Tether.
Yeah.
So that I think the way it's been explained to me is it's the easy way for people to convert something to something without going to Bitcoin and having the value of Bitcoin rise or fall during the middle of trying to do the transaction. Which, if that's the point, then maybe the exchanges could come up with their own sort of thing instead of this thing called Tether that I still don't know how it's necessarily created and controlled. I've not even attempted to look to see if they have a white paper that explains any of the things that Libertarian Banker was asking about.
Yeah.
That there are like 1,300 different cryptocurrencies, and I could count on one hand how many of them I've actually looked at the white paper of.
1,488 was the number I saw today, so that means probably another 100 were added since you last saw a statistic. It's insane. What I think this is important to remind people of is a lot of people are getting into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and the other coins that are out there, and they don't really understand everything that's going on. And
right. And a lot of people are, just sort of day trading of they'll look, oh, this one's up, this one's down, this one's up, this one's down, and they just want to jump between things.
If you want to do that, fine, but at least... I hope you have some experience as being a day trader because that's a whole different set of skills. If you're looking at this stuff long term, then I hope you understand things like, fundamentals. This is not that much different than looking into buying stock in a company.
Right.
What is this about? What problems is it trying to solve? And what's the team look like?
And speaking of stocks and companies, there are a lot of people, crypto's a giant bubble. But did you see the headline a couple days ago? Dow passes 26,000 for the first time ever. But that's totally not a bubble.
Not a bubble.
Definitely not. Let's go to Skype, where we've got Stefan calling in from Ohio. Stefan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
That would be the Commonwealth of Skype there, brother Darryl.
Go ahead, Stefan.
Your accent's improving.
Thank you. Anyway, I had read yesterday that Donald Trump...
Oh, my God. That really did sound like Ricky.
Didn't it? Wasn't good.
Wow, Stefan.
All
I'm
right,
impressed.
so you were reading yesterday
about a department Trump's putting together in the Health and Human Services Department, some sort of a program that will assist doctors in discriminating based upon their beliefs. And this can also include ambulance drivers, surgeons, things like that, where they would be allowed to say no to a patient. Like, let's imagine you are a gay man, and for some reason, I don't know how they know this, they figure out that you're a gay man, and all of a sudden a surgeon, let's say you're about to have an aneurysm and they know it's coming, the surgeon could effectively say, no, you're gay, I don't want to help you there, your brain can just explode.
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about this a little bit more because none of the health professionals that I know would actually wind up doing this.
And I've got a story on it I brought in.
So
we can talk about that.
We'll discuss this right to discriminate by medical professionals, plus your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash. And get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the Crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The Crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the Crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the Crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. How would you like to try the best pillow that you will ever use and try it risk-free for 60 days? I'm talking about the My Pillow. It's designed to fit the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position. I've been using this thing for a couple of years, and it's the best pillow I've ever had. And unlike a regular pillow that collects dirt and dead skin, no, the My Pillow doesn't, kick it off like some kind of weird magnet sort of thing. But you can actually throw the My Pillow in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and it's still usable. Go to mypillow.com. Use code FTL to get your very own My Pillow at half price, or get a second pillow free of charge. And remember, if for some reason you don't like it in the first 60 days, get your money back. And the pillow itself guaranteed to last you 10 years. That's mypillow.com, code FTL. Let's go back to Stefan calling in on Skype. So, Stefan, you mentioned that Donald Trump has... he's asking Congress to pass legislation, or he signed some kind of executive order?
It seems like he's in discussions with the Department of Health and Human Services to establish some sort of committee to assist doctors and protect them from lawsuits if they were to refuse treatment on a patient that they just happen to dislike.
For supposed religious grounds. And
it wasn't specified as religious. It was basically just any moral ground that they could find for them to refuse service.
And Chris, you've got some kind of article about this?
Yeah, I brought in an NPR article that talked about this a little bit.
Convenient.
Yeah, healthcare workers who want to refuse to treat patients because of religious or moral beliefs will have a new defender in the Trump administration. The top civil rights official at the Department of Health and Human Services is creating a division of conscience and religious freedom to protect doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers who refuse to take part in procedures like abortion or treat certain people because of moral or religious objections.
Right. And again, I have previously worked in the healthcare industry, and I don't know of anybody that works in healthcare, even the most devoutly religious people, that would wind up refusing to treat someone because of, I don't like that person's lifestyle.
Right. We're not talking about a county clerk refusing to sign a marriage license.
This could happen, though. All it takes is one person.
Yeah.
And then you got one dead person. You know what I mean?
I'm conflicted in a way, because on one hand I want to get the state out of things, but on the other hand, this could potentially set people back. I mean, I wouldn't have felt too happy if I would have gone in for an MRI and they would have said something along the lines of, "Well, I don't treat people with autism, so get out of here."
Right. I think it's, I suspect it's an issue that's being blown way out of proportion. The number of times
I see this as
actually occurs is probably
a solution looking for a problem, not a problem that needs to be solved.
But it's also points.
You have to look at a different factor of it. Do you think that maybe doctors who would have never considered this in the past, once they realize that, I can do this, might suddenly want to do it because they know they can? I mean, some people are just jerks like that.
Based on my experience with medical professionals, again, I don't know anybody that got into the medical field to only wind up helping people that had beliefs and lifestyles like them.
I mean, there's already doctors that'll turn people down if you're not like in their specific network of chosen groups of people that can use their services.
That's insurance.
That's like insurance.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's still a form of discriminating against outsiders, essentially. And so when you go to hospitals and, you know, emergency rooms and stuff, and you have employees there now being given permission to essentially pick and choose who they work with. Well, I mean, and they're protected by law. Like, you can't fire them. You can, like, once something like this passes, you can't just fire the employer won't be able to fire them because they're going to be protected by the government.
This is why we need government out of healthcare.
Right,
in
because
that particular
this
example.
basically winds up not forcing someone to perform a service, but it's forcing an employer potentially to keep someone as their employee, which then, you know, definitely gets into the employee-employer private contract sphere.
Yeah, there's
this
something
is
I like about
definitely
this.
not a, you know, pro-liberty thing, because it is, you know, potentially forcing someone to keep someone as an employee that they might not want as their employee.
Yeah, I think Heather didn't quite understand it. What she was referring to is, like, you know, insurance programs. Like, some people can't have Medicaid and walk into a doctor's office, or in some cases they might turn down like Liberty Health Share or something like this. But I've got to ask, it really depends on the region of your country. I mean, you go down to the South, a lot of people in the South are very, very bigoted. I mean, Mississippi, Alabama, places like that. You don't think a doctor might turn down a gay person?
I have no idea. Most doctors I've ever met were really interested in getting paid.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And then there's also the Hippocratic Oath of do no harm.
Yeah.
So people that want to be, you know, racist a-holes generally are not becoming doctors.
No, I disagree with that because I happen to know one racist a-hole who is a physician, and I wouldn't call him an a-hole. I probably would. But yeah, he had an opinion about every patient and loved to tell stories. No HIPAA information, no private health information was ever shared. But talking about stories about, you know, these people that are complete idiots, or they're, you know, a bunch of bums living in the projects, and why don't they get a job, and they show up on my, you know, in his emergency room. But he never refused treatment. He did it. You know, that's just what it was. Now, the other end of this where I could see it being a real problem was, well, you know, I understand you're a very strict Catholic and you're very much against abortion, but you did apply for a job here at Planned Parenthood, so yes, we expect you to do abortions. When is that ever going to happen?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
again, who's against the idea of abortion probably wouldn't go apply at Planned Parenthood.
Right, and that's the point that Chris was making. Stefan, thank you.
Wait, I have another.
Wait. Oh.
I have another thing because I wanted to know Stefan's opinion on this. Right, so I read this article the other day about.
She saved me.
The Cape Cod. Yeah, I did. So, like, Cape Cod Hospital, where I grew up, there's like this team of doctors that does like this spinal surgery or something. And they're a very special team of doctors. But apparently the market has opened up to people needing the same surgery from China because there's not enough doctors there. So these people with money in China are coming and making appointments with doctors that can only perform a limited number of surgeries, right? So if there's like 100 people needing this surgery in America, but they get outbid by the Chinese person. Like, what are your thoughts on like how that would affect Americans' access to certain procedures and surgeries if we're now competing as patients against a global market?
It depends who's willing to pay, I suppose. I mean, for example, I'm probably gonna have to go to Mayo Clinic to get some surgery done, and I don't know how that's going to, you know, to affect the marketplace.
Stefan, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you can go this way? You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make
Wait.
Now.
Wait a minute.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Maybe you are afraid to call into the show for whatever reason, but you still want to discuss things with other listeners, and sometimes some of the hosts, well, you may have heard one of the callers earlier mention the Discord chat thing. I know that that's a thing. I haven't used it personally, but I believe if you
Is that
go
your
to
technical explanation of what Discord is?
well, it's some kind of like IRC something, but it's a lot more than just IRC, and it's not just the Free Talk Live chat room. There are a bunch of other chat rooms.
Discord was created as basically a way for gamers to communicate. So it offers voice and typing, and you can go into groups and you can do instant messaging against other people on Discord. It's really kind of cool.
And again, that is discord.freetalklive.com. I believe I'm double checking that. Yes, discord.freetalklive.com. And again, from what I hear, it's a very active chat room and set of chat rooms. Let's go to the phones. Dan in Nebraska, you've been waiting for a little while. Dan, you're on Free Talk Live with Darryl, Heather, and Chris. Go ahead with your thoughts.
All right. Well, first, before I get to my thoughts, I just want to say I have personally used the Free Talk Live Discord server, and I highly recommend it to anyone. It's actually like really active, and all day I leave my notifications on my phone, and there's always a lot of activity I can see in my notifications. So.
Nice,
excellent.
But what I wanted to get to was the other night I was watching the show Hoarders on Hulu. And
okay.
What I was wondering is, so with the idea of like what most libertarians have as the NAP, is there any way to, deal with or help, people who are like hoarders who are making dangerous homes for themselves, or if your parents were to become senile and start hoarding? Would it be a violation of the NAP to go clean up their house?
So for people that might not be familiar, the NAP is the non-aggression principle. It's the principle that basically says that nobody has a right to initiate force against another person. Chris, what were your thoughts on hoarding? And if, let's say, for instance, you knew that I started hoarding a bunch of stuff. Would you wind up having an intervention of, hey, Darryl, we need to have a chat?
If it were unhealthy, and when you watch those TV shows, if somebody just has a big collection of like clown dolls, then they're probably not going to be on Hoarders. But if they've let their house turn into a big steaming pile of rancid hell, then they're going to get an episode. So I think we see the worst of the worst on there. If it reaches that point where someone's health or their family's health or their mental well-being or their financial well-being is in danger, I would certainly step in. But if somebody, and with that said, from a sort of a NAP point of view, non-aggression principle, unless they were harming someone else or harming me, it's up to them. I would hope they would take the advice and maybe...
Right, but again, there has to be some level, and let me sort of backtrack there. There should be, in every human, some level of empathy for others.
Sure.
So that if you see that somebody is doing something that is self-destructive, you should want to help that person. And, first, try to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And, just talk to them like, they're a person that you care about. And, then there's always the person that's going to throw out some kind of hypothetical of, can you use lethal force to prevent somebody from harming themselves?
Yeah, you can go down a million rabbit holes with the non-aggression principle and come up with all sorts of reasons why it doesn't work. I think just as a general rule, to me, it's kind of a golden rule type of thing.
Right, like if I saw somebody standing in the middle of the street that for whatever reason did not see or hear a car that was coming down the street, and I were able to tackle them out of the way to prevent them from getting hit by a car, I would absolutely do it.
Sure.
And then I would apologize for any kind of injury that I caused them because I'm preventing them from having greater harm done to them.
Here's where this conversation always goes. We start talking about these, every possible way that the non-aggression principle could be applied to these hypothetical events that occur, and you can always come up with one that perfectly fits it or perfectly opposes it. But it is not a binding force on the universe that we know. You know, it just drives me nuts when people either go so deep and nap. That's all they want to talk about.
You know what I want to do with those people? I want to punch them in the face.
You want to violate their...
people that constantly throw the nap as like, oh, you can't do this because of the nap. Like, all I want to do is punch them in the face.
Now you're just being violent again.
And at some point, I do think that it is appropriate to ask forgiveness rather than permission. Dan, you said you had another point?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So I guess I just have one more question before I hang up, and that's, so would you think that it would be then okay, given that we already have a structure in place, like even though it's not ideal to have a state, since we have one,
it's here.
If 30 years down the road, I noticed that my parents started hoarding, and I called APS, is that a violation of the NAP?
I don't know what APS is.
What is that?
It's adult protective services.
Okay.
Sometimes, like, there's some elderly protective services in some certain areas too.
So I hate to. I would look at the resources that were available to me. You know what I mean? And the likelihood that I could reach a positive outcome. And if that happens to be a state agency that, face it, you already paid for, they paid for, I don't have an issue with doing that.
I don't think that should be the first option.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. But if there were any other way I could deal with it without it involving, that's pretty much how I live my life anyway. If there's any way I can do something without involving the state, I do that.
Yeah, if you're a good person, I'd say trust your own judgment. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks, you know? Like, you look at the situation, if you're a decent person and you think that it's going to help, then do it. And don't worry about what anybody else thinks.
Dan, thank you for the call. Let's go to Andy calling in from Wichita, Kansas. Andy, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I would like to pound the Donald Trump drum 1 year after his inauguration.
Is that 1 year today?
1 year in 2 days. So we're basically at 1 year. Go ahead, Andy.
Getting close, right? Yes, I am from Middle America, and we needed tax cuts worse than anything. And the Democrats were definitely not going to do that. And I come from a poor community, and I saw the EBT program just all over the place. I'm trying my hardest to do the best I can. And with Mr. Trump's program, in 2016, there was 4.2 million people on EBT benefits versus 4.216 million Americans on EBT benefits this last year. And I just get so discouraged when I see people pulling up in an Escalade when I'm driving a piece of garbage Ford Ranger and working my butt off for that.
Yeah.
And we saw so much stuff being just given away by the Democrats. Versus
Hold that thought, Andy.
Yeah, we'll bring
you right back. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on Trump almost 1 year in? This is Free Talk Live.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get back to the phones in just a second. But I've got a question for you. Do you want to get a home security system delivered to your front door? One that is easy to use? One that is a wireless system that allows you to download an app, and then whenever you want to check out the cameras, again, the wireless cameras, you want to check those out on your mobile device. Maybe it's a cell phone, maybe it's a tablet. Well, you can do that with the Blink Home Security System. Again, this system gets delivered right to your door. You download an app to your mobile device, and it walks you through an easy setup. Even if you have a complicated router system and you're not technically inclined, it should not take you more than about 10 or 15 minutes to get set up. And you can set it up to where it either notifies you whenever something moves in front of the camera, or you can just check the camera whenever you want to from that mobile device. And have we got a deal for you? Get 3 Blink security cameras for what the other guys charge for 1. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL, as in Free Talk Live. One more time, all one word, blinkprotect.com/FTL. Let's go back to the phones. We've got Andy calling in from Wichita. And Andy, you were talking about the first year of the Trump presidency. You had mentioned something about the EBT program, suggesting that some people on EBT are driving Escalades while you're driving a beat-up car.
Yes, and also what I'd like to complain about that is we were paying for wars where the money that could have went to rebuild the American infrastructure or whatever we have to build. The Peace Prize winner and Mrs. Clinton had never voted against a war, and that's another one of my complaints. And Mr. Trump, yes, he did go to war with Syria, I guess, and that's not a good thing. That cost us a lot of money,
right?
And but if Mrs. Clinton would have been in office, we know we would have been in several more wars.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you on that, but I do take a little bit of issue with saying we paid for a war. When you can spend trillions of dollars,
the taxes that were stolen from me.
Well, some of that went to that, but a lot of that was just printing money and borrowing. So when you sell trillions of dollars worth of bonds, promises, IOUs. To China and to Japan, that helps you go to war. And then when you can call up the Federal Reserve and say, things are looking a little tight this year, we've got to go into Baghdad, so can you ramp that up? Then they do it that way. In the end, we always pay for it. We may not pay for it directly through taxation, but we pay for it.
And the Pentagon's budget has increased drastically this year, and some people said, it didn't wind up increasing enough.
Yeah.
And then my last point for pounding the Trump drum, pound, pound, pound. Rothbardian economics says that since the stock market so up and was the gross domestic or the GDP
GDP I think seems to be up. I don't know what the latest quarter looks like. Okay.
But who's to say he was right? Who's to say it's a stop here? Maybe the stock market higher than it ever has been. This is historical record. Maybe it'll continue growing.
It may.
Mr. Rothbard might have been wrong. Who would have guessed?
I don't know. This one smells a lot like a bubble to me.
Maybe it's not though.
I know.
We've never seen it this high.
True, but what I'm basing that on is based on performance of companies versus their stock price. And when you've got companies routinely trading with profit to earnings PE ratios that are 100 to 1, 200 to 1, and things like that, that's not reflective of reality. There is some level that you're saying I'm betting on future technologies and things that are coming down the road, by Apple or by somebody like that in a couple of years, but a lot of it's kind of manic. There is no doubt, and I agree with you that businesses do seem to be buoyed a bit by Trump, and the promises of corporate tax cuts and things like that definitely sits well with them, and I think people are a lot more optimistic. I think so.
All right, certainly. So let's pound that Trump drum and keep on going.
Andy, thank you for the call and mentioning Trump. Again, there's the article from the Washington Post. 1 year into Trump's presidency, the world's citizens give U.S. leadership a record low rating. His first annual performance review is coming up, and while support from many who voted for him is still strong, President Trump's first year in office is facing harsh reviews from many other corners. According to recent polls, U.S. voter confidence in his temperament, leadership strength, and ability to unite Americans have fallen at times sharply since 1 year ago. Leaders of his own party have said they're unclear where their standard-bearer stands on key policy issues. Senators John McCain and Jeff Flake, both of Arizona, both excoriated Trump this week for discrediting the free press and being unwilling to accept criticism, adding to the broad scrutiny of Trump's persistent struggles with the truth. And politicians and others on both sides of the aisle had sharp rebukes for the vulgar remarks Trump reportedly used in an Oval Office meeting, disparaging other countries, which Trump has since denied after the White House initially did not dispute a news report last week by the Washington Post. But 1 year in, another disapproving party is the world citizens at large. On Thursday, Gallup released findings of surveys of residents of other countries, and the results are stunning. The world's approval of U.S. leadership in 2017 dropped 18 percentage points from 2016, the last year of President Barack Obama's administrations, and was 4 points lower than 2008, the final year of the George W. Bush administration, which had been the previous low. Median approval of U.S. leadership across the 134 countries surveyed during Trump's first year in office fell to 30%, the lowest figure recorded in the 11 years that Gallup has asked that question. Disapproval of U.S. leadership rose to a median of 43%, up 15 points from 2016, which also was a record. The new figures mark the first time since 2007 that more global residents disapproved of U.S. leadership than approved of it. The survey, which interviewed 1,000 adults in each of 134 countries, was both telephone and face-to-face between March and November, finds that global citizens put their view of U.S. leadership on par with that of China, whose leaders get a 31% approval rating. The biggest regional drop came in the Americas, where the image of U.S. leadership sank from a 49% approval rating in 2016 to just 24%.
I'm sorry, am I supposed to be surprised by any of this?
Some people would be.
Who are these people? I just, for the life of me, I don't get it. I mean,
supporters of Donald Trump are the people that would be surprised that people don't like Donald Trump.
Right, but even them, are they surprised that people in other countries don't like us? I mean, this is even going back to a lot of the things that they say. Well, they hate us for our freedom, or they hate us because we do this or we do that, because we beat them at everything, even when we don't. I just don't see this as surprising. And if I know there's still people out there that do believe this, that we're a beacon of democracy and freedom for the whole globe, and you can keep spouting that all you want, but the reality is we're not. We're number, depending on what poll you want to look on, we're number anywhere from 11th to in the 20s in freedom of for civil liberties, for freedom of the press, for economic freedom. We're tanking. That's what you guys should take away from this.
In Canada, 40% of Canadians approve of U.S. leadership, whereas 28% of Mexicans, who have been a frequent target of Trump's insults and on whose border Trump is trying to erect a wall. Gallup says in its report that 2017 was not without successes for the United States and its allies, noting the beating back of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. There's more on the one-year annual review of President Donald Trump, plus your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, January 18th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.10 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,331 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,620. Antiwar.com reports following up on Tuesday's statement from Vancouver that the U.S. and allied nations want to ignore the North Korea diplomatic efforts with South Korea and pursue new sanctions. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson piled on with a threat of U.S. military action against North Korea. Tillerson's position does not make a lot of sense with all the factors considered, suggesting the U.S. goal is negotiations and that the U.S. would respond to North Korea's refusal to negotiate with military force against them. In reality, North Korea has repeatedly suggested negotiations in recent weeks and been rebuffed every single time by the United States. Tillerson is clearly aware of this, as every time he suggested talks, he too has been condemned by other Trump administration officials. The U.S. position, as stated now, boils down to pretending diplomacy is not ongoing and threatening to start a massive war with North Korea to punish them for the lack of diplomacy, even though important bilateral talks are in fact ongoing, and the only reason the U.S. is not involved is that the U.S. refuses to participate. This makes the position increasingly puzzling and nonsensical, as the U.S. keeps threatening war despite positive developments, presents diplomacy as an end goal while spurning every opportunity to engage in it, and accuses North Korea of trying to trick people by offering talks at all. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. UPI reports Walmart hopes to combat the U.S. opioid epidemic by offering a free disposal system to help consumers safely dispose of leftover medicines. The world's largest retailer announced the new disposal system known as Dispose RX on Wednesday, with plans to make it available to use for free at all of its 4,700 U.S. pharmacies. The Dispose RX system will give drug users a small packet containing ingredients they can mix into a pill bottle with warm water to safely dispose of leftover medications in the trash. cash. In a release, Walmart referenced information from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration and the National Institute for Drug Abuse that shows more than 65% of people who misuse prescription opioids acquired them from family or friends. Existing company policy also provides optional counseling to customers who want advice on safe prescription opioid use. Walmart's announcement marks the first time one of the nation's largest pharmacies has offered a free way to dispose of opioids at all locations. CVS does have a similar program, but it is only in place in 750 locations in the United States.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports a winter storm that caused at least 4 deaths in the U.S. South brought record low temperatures on Wednesday to parts of the region where it coated roads with ice, snapped power lines, and prompted schools to close. Frigid temperatures and snow were also forecast for the mid-Atlantic region and much of New England through Thursday. The National Weather Service issued winter weather advisories and storm warnings for North Georgia into Virginia and from Massachusetts to Maine. In Austin, Texas, a vehicle plunged more than 30 feet off a frozen overpass late on Tuesday, killing a man in his 40s, according to Austin Travis County Emergency Medical Services. An 82-year-old woman who suffered from dementia was found dead on Wednesday behind her Houston area home, likely the victim of exposure to the cold, according to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. In Georgia, 2 people were fatally struck by a car that slid on an ice patch near Macon. The governors of Georgia, North Carolina, and Louisiana declared states of emergency because of severe winter weather conditions that caused multiple car accidents during rush hour. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
After decades of searching the cosmos, today NASA announced that what it was really looking for was right here on planet Earth all along.
For years, we've foolishly chased after comets, moons, and stars. Outer space may be beautiful, but it's not as beautiful as the smile of a child, nor as sublime as a good bottle of wine shared among friends. Our search ends where it began, here on this big blue marble.
Astronomers say that while their telescopes were pointing at Mars, they never even noticed the planet that was right in front of them. NASA now plans to appreciate what they already have. The agency's latest report, entitled "Wonder is Everywhere: Finding the Beauty in the Everyday," calls for further study of the little things that truly give life meaning.
Warm rain on a summer day. The smell of pine trees, touching the worn paper of your favorite book. That's what's always made us happy. Not some asteroid a million miles away.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Kicking off our number 3 in studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And I'm still awake, Heather.
And Chris.
Yeah, so like you just flew in like
yesterday,
12 hours ago or something.
So I'm my body is still on like Eastern European time. So like right now it would be, let's see, it's 9 here, 6-hour time difference.
So Heather's trying to do math while also being sleep deprived.
3 in the morning, I think it is there.
So this was your first visit to the Socialist European Union, is that correct?
Yeah.
And your overall impressions?
I liked Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Paris is my favorite.
Did you climb the Eiffel Tower?
I did, actually.
Really?
Yeah. If you don't
on
have
the outside, or did you take the stairs?
No, I took the stairs. I took the elevator down.
Did you take any pictures of the Eiffel Tower at night?
No.
Good, because that would be illegal.
Really?
Yes.
There's a law against that?
Intellectual property law covers that, because while the Eiffel Tower itself is old enough to be, in the public domain or whatever as far as IP goes, there are lights that under European intellectual property stuff, the lights are not yet considered in public domain for the purposes of reproduction of artistic something.
Well, that's good.
So photos of the Eiffel Tower at night, you will never see one on the internet, or you will very rarely see one on the internet because they all get pulled down for IP. I watched a YouTube video about why do you never see pictures of the Eiffel Tower at night?
I see tons of them, Darryl.
You just Googled it?
I just Googled it. I used the Google.
Interesting.
You mean there's fake news on YouTube?
There's lights on them. I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's good.
But like
because
European copyright and IP law is absolutely horrible.
That's okay. Yeah.
Either way, no, I didn't take any pictures, but I did climb it. And yeah, I went to Italy, went to Amsterdam. So
you must have been stoned to the bejesus because that's the only reason people go to Amsterdam, right?
There was, you know what I did hear before going into France is I heard that the police there, as far as like people immigrating into the country and stuff, are like super strict. And I heard this, and then coincidentally, on my train from Milan to Paris, right, I'm sitting there in my seat, and these 3 people wearing like policia or whatever uniforms that said it in their language. There were 3 police officers escorted some like black kid to the car in front of me. And then like maybe 20, 30 minutes later, there's this little light that shows you if somebody's in the bathroom, like 2 rows behind my seat. There's a little bathroom. So it shows you if there's a light, if it's occupied.
Right.
Well, somebody was waiting in line for the bathroom. And so everybody kept going, but whoever was in it wasn't coming out. So all of a sudden, like, we hear some mumble jumble go on between like the train staff and then some police officer. Well, at the very next stop, 3 police officers like surround the bathroom, and I'm watching it. And I was so tempted to take out my phone and film, but I didn't want to end up in some like French prison because I didn't know what the laws were.
Could have been somebody going for the 10-foot high club.
No, but somebody was hiding in there. It was like,
okay.
Yeah, and like I just heard this. I heard that they like are stricter on people of like color out there, but it was like another black person. This is just what somebody told me. And so then they escort that guy out, and I see out my window that they're like searching his backpack and stuff. And now it could have been a sandwich, but there was like something wrapped in saran wrap that they'd pulled out. And I'm guessing that the 2 people hopped on the train without tickets. And one of them got caught, and the other one hid in the bathroom, thinking he would jump out at the next stop, but the police surrounded it and caught him.
Well, thank goodness.
So, but it was just like, whoa.
Dangerous train hoppers
but somebody
and
had
sandwich
mentioned
smugglers.
this stuff, like that the police were super strict before I even got on the train. And then more train problems. The next train I took was from Paris back to Amsterdam. And on that one, it was delayed 50 minutes because someone committed suicide on the tracks.
Oh. That's sad to hear.
Yeah. I'm like, man, this train's... Oof.
So I just pulled up information about the Eiffel Tower at night thing, and apparently the Société d'Exploitation de la Tour Eiffel only goes after people who are trying to profit from photos of the Eiffel Tower at night. So if you're taking it for personal use and you're not trying to sell it for commercial purposes, then you're okay. But yeah.
Oh, you know what else? There's a whole bunch of signs right around the bottom of the Eiffel Tower to beware of pickpocketers. Because I guess there's like these like people that go around trying to pick out your passport and stuff.
While you're staring up in the air. Go, wow, isn't that cool?
They like casually bump into you like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like...
Yeah, and you can't defend yourself. I don't know what their knife laws. I think they have fairly strict knife laws. It's almost unheard of for anyone to be able to carry a handgun.
I did hear in Amsterdam, there was actually, I heard this from a few people, that the government there was cracking down on like the cafe shops, like the openly smoking marijuana, because they wanted to move the country away from that type of tourist reputation.
Yeah, I've also heard that some of those cafes are restricting the amounts that they will sell to tourists.
Yeah. Well, a couple of them have gotten shut down. Like there's this one place called the Grasshopper, I guess. It was pretty popular as far as like one of the cafe shops in the town.
Right.
And for those that don't know, cafe shop pretty much means pot shop. Like it sounds like it would just mean a coffee shop.
They got coffee.
Yeah, it's more like a menu. And
that they've got coffee and hash brownies.
it's more like it's like a menu type pot place or whatever. So you go and you get a menu and there's all these different ways to smoke it, whatever. And so, but I heard that a couple different places had been shut down, like the government yanked their permits and just completely shut them down from being allowed to do that because they're trying to like move away from having it be known for specifically for that. They want to like open up the place, you know, more like Paris and Milan, where
there's more to us other than just coming over here and getting weed and hitting our red light.
We don't like
districts.
that image that we have for ourselves, so we're going to spruce it up
try
and
to do that. Yeah,
change the makeup a little bit.
It was definitely like Milan and Paris were definitely a lot nicer than Amsterdam, from my experience.
So the other thing about Amsterdam, sex trade and sex workers. Did you get through the red light districts? Did you see any of that?
partake?
No, I don't.
I didn't think she'd do that.
I consider myself a classy human being.
Right, but that is something that their culture has.
I mean,
supports,
if I were gonna go into one of those rooms, I'd be paying for an hour to have a therapy session with one of the women, trying to talk them out of the stuff. I mean,
I wasn't saying that. I was like,
I think it's sad myself.
Did you see it? I mean, did you?
Yeah, I saw the red lights on,
Okay.
buildings and
Yeah,
stuff.
I've never been there, so I don't know if it's like isolated in a tiny part of town,
It's
or
sad.
it's just some street might have.
It wasn't really near anywhere where I like stayed, but I did like see like in passing, like getting to the shopping areas and stuff like that.
Right.
And Chris, I can certainly
It's sad,
understand
in
the
my
question
opinion.
that you're asking, because in Nevada, where there are the brothels, they're not exactly in the middle of town. They're way out.
Right.
You've got to drive 4 hours to get there.
Yeah, I think it's like 70, 80 miles outside of Vegas. It's some distance to you can get to the legal brothels in Nevada.
I mean, I didn't see one person under the age of 18 there. In the entire Amsterdam.
In all of Amsterdam?
One kid. I didn't see one kid.
Really?
Yeah. The whole time I was there. I can't say
You heard it first here. There are no children in all of Amsterdam.
Something is eating all the children.
I swear to God, when I was out walking around, I didn't see kids anywhere.
It was so obvious that you were
There was
just
like a million and a half
noticed it.
bicycles, though.
Yeah.
Maybe you were just in the tourist area, and children generally aren't tourists.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
I just thought it was bizarre.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Your calls and thoughts welcome, and we will get back on the one-year report card for President Donald Trump. And again, your calls and thoughts welcome, whether it be President Donald Trump or even cannabis. Chris, you've got some survey numbers about Americans' views on that. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll jump back into this first year report card of sorts of President Donald Trump here in just a moment. One of the things mentioned in this by the Washington Post is that Trump's approval rating among the people of Mexico is 28%. Well, you can join some other people in Mexico February 15th through the 18th. They may or may not like President Donald Trump based on the event. I'm going to guess with no, the event being Anarchapulco. You can learn more at anarchapulco.com. Make anarchy great again with speakers such as G. Edward Griffin, Ron Paul, Jeffrey Tucker, Larkin Rose, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venat, Julia Taransky, and many, many more. Live music from Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and more. Again, the Anarchapulco event happening February 15th through the 18th at the Princess Resort in Acapulco, Mexico. There are also other things happening that are not part of what they're calling the main event. These are add-ons. The Health and Wellness Retreat, Cryptopulco, Change Media University, and an Amazonian ceremony called the Snake and the Jaguar. Your trip to Anarchapulco may be different than somebody else's. Go to anarchapulco.com. Use code FTL to get 10% off that ticket. Anarchapulco.com. Code FTL for 10% off. And this thing's coming up in less than a month. Again, February 15th through the 18th. Let's jump back into this one-year review, the annual review. Mr. President, we need to have you sit down so we can go over your one-year review. You're not very popular around the world. The story, again, coming from the Washington Post, where 1,000 adults in each of 134 countries around the globe between March and November were surveyed by Gallup, where, again, they found that the median approval rating across the globe for President Trump was 30%, the lowest figure recorded in the 11 years that they've been asking this question. They say, but it's not all bad news for Trump and the U.S. and some of the allies, noting the beating back of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. But they also said that the sharp drops in approval of U.S. leadership in every part of the world are evidence that the other aspects of Trump's foreign policy and his own words have sowed doubt about the U.S. commitment to their partners abroad and called its reliability into question. Some of those words, like the vulgar remarks that Trump is reported to have said last week about countries like Haiti and those in Africa, while suggesting the U.S. should bring in more immigrants from countries like Norway, would not have been reflected yet in the survey results because, again, the survey was conducted between March and November. Indeed, those surveyed in Haiti gave U.S. leadership a 29% approval rating, which is 18 points lower than 1 year ago, while just 13% of Norwegians said they approved of U.S. leadership, down 42 points from 1 year ago. They mention a couple other countries here and then say the survey, of course, is not the first to find America standing in the world slipping around the globe under Trump's leadership.
I thought there was one point that may have got glossed over, and that was this. African countries as a whole actually hold U.S. leadership in higher regard than any other region, with 51% approval rating, down just 2 points from 2016. It's interesting. Those are the S-hole countries that Trump was referring
allegedly.
to. Allegedly.
And that's
but
one
I
of
think
the things.
Wasn't the whole alleged conversation in regards to immigrants coming here from places like Haiti and.
Yeah, the quote was people from S-hole countries coming here, something.
Yeah. I didn't follow the story closely. I'll admit that. As soon as I saw it, I was just like, here we go again.
I mean, I think the politically correct term would be third world countries, right? That's non-offensive.
Right.
And technically, Switzerland is a third world country because third world refers to countries that were not aligned with either the United States or Russia during the Cold War.
Okay.
Oh, well, there we go.
Well, I think most people's idea of a third world country is a country that pretty much doesn't
has a very low
function
GDP, has high poverty.
Yeah, high poverty, violence,
right, probably
garbage, dirty.
Run by a dictator, probably doesn't have a strong government. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think when it comes to countries like that, I think as a nation, America, we can set an example and help out people that need help. But as far as bringing everybody here, I mean, that's you own a house and there's a bunch of homeless people in your community. You can't bring them all in your freaking living room.
Oh, you can.
But you can go and you can do what we have within our means to go help the homeless people. But
right.
Provide them with
there's
stuff.
also some misunderstanding when you say bring people here from other countries. That's a misunderstanding of how immigration laws work.
I know how they work. My grandmother was from England.
Right, but she didn't get brought here. She came here of her own free will, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she wanted to come here.
Right. Immigrants
my brother and his wife live in
choose
Japan,
to come here. They are not brought here by the federal government.
No, but I'm saying that's what a lot of these discussions surround is the idea that we should bring these people from one country that's not doing well and give them opportunities here and bring them all here.
Like Syria, they talked about, we
refugees.
should step up and we should, volunteer to house, 100,000 Syrian refugees in the United States, for example. That is taking a proactive step to bring people to our country.
No, let's provide them with the stuff to build up their own countries. Like
I don't want to provide people in other countries with stuff to bring
with
their
help, aid, whatever you want to call it.
I don't want to do that either. But what I would like to do,
I voluntarily donated to groups that are trying to help people in Syria.
I'll do that. I'll promote cryptocurrencies and things like that can help people exist outside of bad, screwed up economic systems. That I think is valuable. But I'm not a fan of trying to, when we give foreign aid, all we're doing is giving it to the corrupt government that we say we're trying to help the people.
Well, I mean, I like to, I don't know. I like to have faith, at least when our military oversees certain things, I grew up around the military, and I think there's a lot of propaganda as far as, the U.S. military is all big and bad, and we're occupying all these places.
We generally kill a lot of people when we go to other places.
Yeah, but you know what? There's some bad people in this world. Terrorism's a real thing. It's not just made up.
I'm not going to argue that there's no such thing, but there's also innocent.
There's a reason that America doesn't look like the Middle East, that there's not people walking around blowing people up on our soil, and that can happen in America if we don't play our cards right.
And there are thousands of dead civilians.
Tens of thousands. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts about American foreign policy? This is Free Talk Live.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010.
The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Are you looking for a movie to watch? I know that there are a lot of film festivals coming up, and then, like all the well, when do the movie award show things happen? That's sometime about this time of year, right?
In the evenings.
Right, but it's generally this time of year, I think.
This is the least important thing you could possibly ask me about. I have no idea. I don't know when the Emmys are. I don't know when the Academy Awards, the Golden Globes.
Well, a movie
Grammys.
that definitely is not going to wind up being on any of those, Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree.
How do you know that?
Well, because it's been out for enough years
yet.
and it's never been nominated, so the chances are very, very slim.
What a great movie.
Yes, it is. And you can watch it for free online. Go to victimlesscrimespree.com, or maybe you want to get one of the limited edition DVDs, a physical DVD that has more than just the documentary. There are also several commentary tracks, as well as a bunch of bonus footage. victimlesscrimespree.com. The movie highlights how many arrests was it? 5, 6 arrests of former Free Talk Live co-host Derek J. Freeman. He wound up facing several years in prison, wound up taking a plea deal to get most of that time what they call suspended, meaning that he served some time in the county jail, and then he had to be a good boy for several years. Otherwise, he would go back to jail for a couple of years. Again, you can watch the video yourself, victimlesscrimespree.com. Let's go to Skype, where we've got Bad Slave calling in. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, Darryl, Chris.
Hey, Bad Slave.
Anyway, Melanie, I have a question.
Melanie is not here tonight, Bad Slave. It's Heather.
Heather. That's okay.
Yep.
We don't have that many girls on here.
I know.
mean, it's easy to... I get it.
I'm 65 there, Anyway, Heather, I apologize.
It's okay.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
You just kind of threw out a statement there that there's some good that's being done by the military. So, amongst all the things that you might list, particularly adventurous type of things where, they're not, we're not being attacked directly. And why
do you think that is?
Well, because I think we got two oceans.
Oh.
That interfere with that. I think
that stops us from going over there.
We also have, as much as we can keep it, an armed population. I really don't think that the activities of the U.S. military is doing much of anything to improve situations. As a matter of fact, so my question is, which adventurous thing in which part of North Africa, the Middle East, even in Europe with NATO. I mean, any of those things. Can you explain the benefits of those activities? Can you come up with a specific, thing that's being improved by that U.S. military activity?
I don't think it's okay. So I'm partial to the American military. I've grown up around so many of the people in it. I grew up on a military base, so I know types of people that are in our military.
The people or the military? That's what I think. No, but the disconnect is.
Okay, so you know what? The idea that all of a sudden people like my dad, my brother, my uncle, my grandfather, just all of a sudden get deployed and start
bad slave.
slaughtering people. Like, this is like fear-mongering BS that is put out there by these guilt trippers, right? That want you to think that the American military is just god-awful industrial complex that just, doesn't do anything for Americans and is just like this whole fraud of a system. And you know what? That is so ignorant. It's so ignorant.
Did I say that? You're the one that's saying that.
You are.
Well, what are you asking? You're asking me...
What use of the military has improved the situation? Is that pretty much it, Bad Slave? Where's the U.S. military been used? We went in somewhere and made it better.
The people that want to do harm to the United States, so our military is our national defense, right? And like people always say, like, oh, you can't have like an offense, you whatever. If you, it's kind of like what do you call it? Like if anybody's military, I trust. It's our own, right? Like there's so many other armed militaries out there that chop hands off, that do these like barbaric things that cut people's heads off.
And you don't think any of those barbary things are being done by the U.S. military?
You know what? There's some bad apples, but I'm I feel pretty safe to say, having grown up on a military base, that the majority of our soldiers are not those kinds of psychopaths. I
don't want to pay for that.
That's good. I'll happily pay my share. I'll pay my share.
Now, do you like Ron Paul?
I think he's no different than anybody else. I don't put people on pedestals.
You do.
That wasn't the question.
But
I don't think Ron Paul's effective.
Well,
he's not in Congress or anything else.
Also wasn't the question. The question was, do you like him?
Is he correct about because what he says about the military is that he wants defense. He does not want the military that the U.S. is generating.
I don't think Ron Paul has a full understanding of how foreign policy and how it all ties together.
Okay.
So let's say you have Syria. No, will you guys listen? If you want me to educate you, I'll happily do so.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you get a country like Syria, right? Like, and this is coming from a Syrian friend of mine that was in Damascus, okay? That said that basically over there was some like light protests, right, of the government because one group felt they were mistreated over another. So there were some civil protests, and that some Chechens came from across the border, hijacked their peaceful protest, and started slandering the Syrian government, and started hijacking this movement, spreading propaganda, and dividing people in this country, right? Then this country ends up, all these rebel factions pop up. They fight to take down the Syrian government, and it creates what's called a power vacuum, right? Because now you have all of these people, all of this chaos, and there's people scrambling for order. People want it to stop, so they're desperate. They cling to leaders. They cling to factions. And this is what causes the war and the violence. And the U.S. is no different than Russia, than China, than any other group, right? We're going to pick a side that we think is going to be the side that's going to be in, the best interests of what we see as worldly views. And America is a better nation in terms of freedom in comparison with other countries in the world. So of course we're going to go and interject ourselves when these power vacuums exist, because we don't want somebody worse gaining control. That's how it works. We're not wrong for being over
I got to hop in here for just a second. Okay. So just real quickly. The U.S. military never decides to go in anywhere. the U.S. military decides to go where it's told to go. That's all they get to
By
do.
people in the ranks. That's how it works.
No, not by people in the ranks, by politicians in Washington.
Congress. Yeah, it's all
That's how it works.
Politics,
No,
by
let
definition,
me
is
speak.
warfare. Look it up.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Politicians are involved in war, in conflict.
Yes. My
resolution.
issue is where they get sent and do they make things better. So
Okay,
you
and
say
we can criticize
you have
that.
stated that the U.S. is better than all these other countries and acting in our own best interest. We should be able to go wherever the hell we want. I fundamentally disagree with that. We shouldn't.
No, I think we should give it some serious thought and consideration, but I don't think abolishing the entire, every base. And
you are seeing a microcosm of what happened, what has happened in U.S. history, and it's been going on like this for 100
calls
years.
And thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
For the past several years now, area woman Caitlin Mooney has been convinced that each and every one of her friends should be a professional comedian. Our reporters spoke to Caitlin this morning about her, quote, hilarious group of friends.
Karen is so funny. Like, I can't even explain it. She's always just saying whatever on her mind. She has this totally sassy attitude. You just can't help but laugh. My roommate Rashmi, she always has these hilarious stories that, they're just too much. I'm always telling her that she should just go up on stage and talk. Everyone would love it.
Mooney went on to say that her good friend Lauren is so funny she could, quote, definitely be on Saturday Night Live or The Office, a sentiment she echoed about a number of her other acquaintances, including her childhood friend Marcia, her college roommate Angela, her coworker Julie, and even her sister Jennifer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE is the toll-free call-in line. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in right now. We'll get back to the phones, but first, have you heard the news about the Dallas Mavericks basketball team? Apparently, Mark Cuban, who's the owner of that team, says that he will sell tickets for Bitcoin next season.
How about that?
That headline from news.bitcoin.com. You can find that and much more, such as the editorial piece, the opinion piece, if you will. If your cryptocurrency doesn't have a mobile wallet, it's not really a currency. Yeah, that's somewhat controversial, right? Again, you can find that and more, news.bitcoin.com. Let's go back to Bad Slave calling in on Skype. Bad Slave, you were having a discussion with Heather about the American foreign policy, specifically the presence of the U.S. military all around the globe. Continue with your thoughts.
Yeah, it's very, very, very expensive. And the poor guys, the troops, the cannon fodder, they are actually killing themselves more regularly than any other group out there, right? I mean, what is it, 22 a day or something like that?
Suicides in the day of combat veterans. Yeah,
my father has PTSD, so it hits
it's
close
horrific.
to home.
It's horrific.
And so we don't need to be out there doing all this stuff. It just is not. It's not productive. It's designed to create conflict for, I think the Zionists.
You know, some of the things like my father has seen people do in some of these countries that he's been in, like it's disgusting. And it is so glad, like I'm so glad we don't have that kind of stuff here. And it's sad that there's people in other countries that are being subjected to it. Okay, and people that criticize our troops, you know what? Our soldiers voluntarily sign up for war, okay? They voluntarily sign up for service. They voluntarily go into these countries because most of them want to make the world a better place. They're not all going over there trying to like bomb innocent people like these fear-mongering, guilt-tripping, anti-American people claim.
How you say anti-American?
I'm so sick of like the people that criticize the ungrateful people that live in this country that have so much freedom, right? And they criticize our troops.
I'm a veteran. Do I have a right to criticize?
I'm not criticizing the troops, Heather. I am criticizing the government.
Yeah, we can criticize the government. Be specific, though.
I don't get to decide whether I pay taxes or not. Well, they'll come and get me and put me in a cage if I don't pay the taxes that they want to cover this stuff. And it's counterproductive. It's destructive. I've got a new name for the U.S. government: destructo bots.
Okay.
And it's not the troops. Okay, you're all on the troops. Listen, the troops are fabulous, but there are too many of them. We don't need as many. We don't need them in every friggin' podunk little, conflict zone.
Niger. I didn't even know where that was on a map till I found out that we got troops killed in Niger.
You're right.
And what was the big national security threat that was going to kill me in New Hampshire?
Maybe there's stuff that you don't know. You have no idea. You're just assuming. You're making assumptions.
I guarantee you there was some threat. I don't think they send people in blindly, but what I do know is this. When they kill people in Niger or Americans get killed, that makes people angry. And when people get angry, they bomb things. And that makes the other side angry, so they bomb them back. This is a cycle that the U.S. has been on this entire last century and 100% of this century. I am tired of living in a world filled with war. I love the United States people. I love Everybody I served in the military with, they were great people. But for God's sakes, quit sending them places where the only thing they're doing is pissing off people enough that they're going to kill us, and they're going to get PTSD'd out of their minds and, God forbid, commit suicide, and get the other side so pissed off that they're going to come back and bomb us again.
You know, we've had how many bases in how many different countries for how long now? If we were over there being out like as crazy as these fear-mongering guilt trippers try to make it seem, we would be at war already in America. We would have so much more blowback. Where is this blowback? Because I don't see it.
So is it fear-mongering and guilt-tripping to talk about when the U.S. Air Force bombed Doctors Without Borders Hospital in Kunduz, Afghanistan for 90 minutes on October 3rd, 2015?
After it had been reported.
So you get, 90% of the time, like, we do good things, and you try to discredit the entire thing for the actions of a few crazies?
What do you call good things?
I don't know the details of this or
Is good things killing the enemy? Is that good things, or is good things providing humanitarian aid from our military to the people there on the ground?
Let me ask you a question.
What's the mission?
Well, let me ask you a question, right? Let's take 9/11, for example. Since everybody that criticizes the military likes to play moral police, 9/11, right? You have a airplane full of American citizens about to hit into a building of American citizens.
Right.
Should the military shoot down innocent and kill innocent Americans on that plane to save a larger amount?
I have a straightforward answer for that.
What?
Don't go into Iran and sway their elections.
No. Should the military, and that has nothing to do with what I just asked.
It has everything to do with it.
Should the U.S. military shoot down and kill innocent Americans on that plane in order to save the Americans in the building?
Well, that's a straw man, because it never happened.
Not.
It was never
that
an
was
issue.
the dilemma. That's exactly what the dilemma was.
No,
My
the
dad was
dilemma
one of the
was,
people
the
that
problem
loaded
was-
up 22 F-15s in record time on 9/11. He
The
worked
problem
on Otis
was
Air Force Base.
what caused these Saudi Arabians to be
That's
so
not the question.
angry
You're avoiding my question.
with the United
You're avoiding
States.
my question.
If I would have counted the number of people I could have saved or lost and made a decision on the most people I would have saved, there I've answered your question. And my question to you is, why the hell were these Saudis so pissed at the United States that they were willing to die to come to a foreign country, learn how to fly planes, and then fly them
theory.
into?
That's one theory.
Why were they so angry at us?
That's a theory. Should
What,
we shoot
that they
down the
were
plane?
angry?
Should we shoot down the plane?
Why were they so angry?
Should we shoot down the plane?
Now you're not answering my question.
No, I want you to say yes or no. Should we shoot down the
I already
American plane?
said.
She is asking the question, if American foreign policy began on 9/10/01 at 11:59 p.m.
What I said, and apparently you didn't hear it, was if the case were a plane versus building, I would get an estimate of how many people would die in either situation. I would choose the one that caused the least deaths. If that would have been let the plane hit it, I would have chose that. If it would have been shoot the plane out of the air, I would have chose that. So that answers your question,
So
correct?
then you agree that you can't kill people if it's for the greater good.
No, I make it a cold, hard, logical conclusion of a situation I will never be put in. But that is my Monday morning quarterbacking. My question is why were they so angry that they decided to fly across?
I don't know all the details of who, what, when, where, and why, and I'm not going to make
Do you think they just read a newspaper article about the United States and said,
I don't believe that a few guys
wow,
took
that
down...
sounds like a horrible place. We should go bomb them and kill thousands of people.
I don't buy the official narrative, so...
Well, what do you think? Why do you think the Middle East seems to want to?
I can't even say for sure who did it or who's behind it, so I'm not going to hype it.
You just spent the whole time telling us about how terrorism is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Why do you think terrorists want to attack us? Do you think they're just crazy? Do they have a reason?
I think if there's any terrorism, it's to disrupt this country. It's divide and conquer.
Why this country? Why not Ireland?
Because we're the alpha country.
They hate us for our freedom?
Huh?
Is that the
No,
answer?
I don't buy any of that stuff. I don't buy any of that stuff.
But the question
I just think
is
it's governments.
why
Like
do?
it's territory. It's humans fighting over territory.
But we're nowhere close. If they want territory, why don't they go and take over the Indian subcontinent?
There's all kinds of theories that 9/11 happened because there was asbestos in the trade centers and they weren't allowed to demolish it, and that the New York Port Authority said they couldn't. I mean, I've read a lot into 9/11. There's so many theories.
I have too.
So I
don't agree with a lot of the official.
I've heard it was Israelis, it's Saudis, whatever.
My question is about policy.
Exactly.
And
mine is just that
us?
I support having a U.S. military.
Bad Slave, thank you.
Thanks for
the call. That's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, but always online at freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! On your knees!